Yo Kinesis, welcome to another week of National Education Cycle for LCPs. We're on week 2 of organizational culture now, and this week's topic is leading LoCo as LCP. So I'm going to talk about a few things. 1, your role as LCP in LoCo and making sure it's successful. 2, how you can work with the FASTI team and be a role model in that sense. And 3, some advice for how to shape the culture you want to see in your LoCo itself. So first of all, your role as an LCP in LoCo, it's basically to be hyper aware, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. And then 2, you are the captain steering the ship, just as you are with your LCP role in general. It's the same goes for your LoCo as well. So what I mean by hyper aware, so first of all, a future LCP will be in your class of newbies. That's a very important thing for you to know. For some of you, some of these newbies will also be in your next EB team. That's another thing for you to be aware of. And thirdly, you are the star, right? For many of these new members, it might be the first time they see you in kind of like a leadership type of sense. And so just know that for some of them, in their perspective, you are the leader they maybe hope to strive to be someday for the LC. So again, future LCPs in this class. So I want to be aware of that because it's super important for how you carry yourself, like what kind of example you're setting, what kind of role model you're being throughout the entire LoCo, the sessions, even when you're not delivering sessions, etc. And so just make sure that you as LCP set a good example, be a role model, and embody whichever behaviors you want to see and whichever culture you want to create. The second thing I want to talk to you about is working with the FASTI team. So even if you're not the agenda manager for your LoCo, it's still extremely important for you and your entire EB and any other FASTIs to be on the same page and aligned in terms of the messages and the content you're delivering at this conference. So being aligned is extremely important. Last week we talked about vision and culture you want to create and the EB being aligned on that. It's the same going into this conference. How does that translate into the messages you want present within your sessions? And 2 is being aligned on what are the main messages you want to achieve in this conference in the first place. Like what are the main behaviors you want to set? What are the main goals you have for this local conference? What are the main takeaways and next steps you want your members leaving this conference with? These are all questions that you should be asking yourself and answers you should create as an EB to make sure you're all fully aligned on this. And even if you're not a agenda manager, making sure the entire FASTI team is aligned in their messaging for this conference. All right, so you can work with your chair and agenda manager to help make that happen. Okay, and 3 is shaping the culture you want to see. So some very quick tips on this. First of all, use the chair in the plenaries, similar to how you've seen us do in the national conferences. Talk with your chair about what the main messages are so they can help drive those in the spaces that they have. They can tell stories, exemplify the behaviors you want to see for the culture you want to create, etc. Second is make sure the messages are also present in functional spaces and breakouts. So again, align with the FASTI team. Make sure that the plenaries aren't the only space that can shape the culture you want to see, but these messages are also present in the functional spaces and breakout sessions of your LoCo. And the third is have a space in your closing or bring back or what's next to help reinforce any of those messages, behaviors you want to see. And also have individual time with the delegates. That's a great thing to do, is not being afraid to talk about the vision and bigger picture you have for your LC with the delegates on a one-on-one basis. It'll help you build a relationship with them as well. And finally, a quick example for the culture you want to see using LoCo to kind of create this. So let's say you do want an internally competitive culture. We used this example in last week's lesson. So this is recognizing high performance and building pipeline for leadership roles, at the same time giving low performers a need to improve. So let's say this is a culture you need to create. So you align with your chair about this. They maybe can tell stories in their plenaries about how when they started out they really struggled to learn things and how eventually they became a high performer. You can in this conference celebrate any new TLs that you have this semester, new VPs, recognize high performers from the last semester, using the space to do that, again, rewarding their performance, kind of giving the new members, some low performers, some little inspiration, and maybe present some kind of LC R&R system, something that you can refer back to in each LCM, something to, again, excite them, motivate them, and create a spirit of friendly competition among your team. So that's just an example of some things you can do within the LoCo space itself to help drive that culture you want to create. And lastly, so the action item coming out of this week's lesson is for the newsletter post, just comment a photo of your LoCo or send us a link to your planned agenda for the conference if you're not having your LoCo this weekend. so I can check it and we can make sure that everyone's on the same page in terms of how you can use LoCo to drive culture. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.